10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody. Midlife Vices, episode 4. I am Steve.
Man, and I'm Jim. Can you believe we made it this far?
4 episodes. I know.
I know.
That's my longest online relationship since my wife.
I think I'm qualified for some kind of pension.
There you go. There you go. So, another week for us here. What do you got going on this week, Jim? What you been up to?
Well, let's see. We've watched the entire second season of Miracle Workers. We've started the third season.
Wow.
I'm not sure I can recommend that show to everyone. I mean, there's only like 10 episodes per season. So
Right.
There's not a whole lot. I can't recommend that to everyone. If you don't like the humor right off the bat, it's not for you. It's the same humor through all 3 seasons. My wife loves it. She likes it more than I do, so it makes it better for me.
Sure.
But so we started that. We're maybe halfway through the third season already, and it's the Oregon Trail, which my wife also loves. So she's getting a kick out of this one.
That's cool.
I've also started 2 series of Maverick. So I had thought I had watched all these shows. No, I don't recognize any of this stuff I'm watching. So on Tubi TV, I found the original series, 5 seasons of the original Maverick with James Gardner in the 1950s. So I started that after watching the first episode of the later series that only went one, the Brett Maverick series.
Sure.
So I'm enjoying that. I enjoy that character quite a bit.
Nice.
So
Cool.
that's
a lot. That's a lot for you. That's a lot of shows for you.
Well, I've only watched one of each.
Oh, there you go.
And then I think it was one night of 2 nights of Miracle Workers that we get in 4 or 5 episodes or 22 minutes. So.
Right. That's always nice. Yeah.
Yes. I like getting through it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, the half-hour shows are much easier to binge than the hour shows, especially when you are like with Lost and stuff, where you were watching commercials and all that. You know, if you can avoid that, cut out all that wasted time, it goes a whole lot quicker.
Yes, it does.
We're still watching the same stuff. The House of the Dragons. We watched that last episode last night. Really enjoyed that one a lot. Most of the episode was really slow, and then it was really, really good at the end of the program, which is, it gets you wanting to watch the next one. So it's a smart move. If you're, It's kind of a filler episode, but it sets up the next one and the rest of the story really well. So that was good. Of course, the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, the 4th episode, I believe.
I haven't watched anything past the first episode yet.
So good.
Yeah, I hear it's great. I don't know. I'm all gung ho until it drops, and then I'm like, I'll get to it.
And then She-Hulk episode 5, I believe. I think there's only one more episode to go. It's weird with this show because we're 5 out of 6 episodes, and I don't know what the story is, where they're going, who the villain is. It's almost written like a sitcom where there's really no, every episode kind of on its own. There's really no ending point that you can see coming, it's a good show episode by episode. There's just no plot really that I've caught on to yet.
So if you're in the story, it may not be for you.
Right. That's probably why I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good show. And then, of course, this week we got Quantum Leap started last night, the new series. So
what's that?
We haven't watched the first episode yet, but it's on NBC or CBS or one of those.
That's a show
It's on Hulu. Yeah.
I never watched a lot of it. So, but what I have seen, I enjoyed the original series.
Right. Well, I've seen a couple previews of it. It looks pretty cool because they've done how good they are with making people look young now whatever technology they use to make older people look young. So I've
I'm
seen a
75.
couple previews where they make who he jumps into look like their younger selves at whatever time it would have been. So it looks interesting. Looks really interesting.
Nice. What's dropping tomorrow? Oh, Andor for Star Wars. I'm looking forward to that.
That's only 3 episodes, right?
Yeah, 3 episodes dropping tomorrow. Really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, that'll be a quick series.
I'll watch one of them and then I'll wait until they all drop.
Right.
Nice. Yeah.
Other than that, just been busy working around the house and doing all that. We've been getting a lot of rain this week, which is good. Need it bad, so the more the better. And I now have my own Starlink, which is awesome.
Oh.
I was sharing with a neighbor. I finally broke down and bought my own. I figured if we're going to live here for the next 40 years, I should probably buy my own instead of share. So
nice. We were in the 90s today. It's supposed to be in the 60s tomorrow.
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think today's the last day of summer or whatever, so we're getting there.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's what I've been up to.
Nice.
How things been with the dog?
Challenging and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has crazy energy at night, and it doesn't matter. I took him out and threw the frisbee, made him run in 90-degree heat.
Right.
For about a half hour. And then he comes in and immediately wants to play and run after the cats, which he don't want to attack the cats. He just wants to play with them, but they want nothing to do with that. So.
Yeah, that's a lively age.
His nipping, he's right at my youngest son's face level, and he wants to nip, and so it's constant watching and yelling. It's like having another toddler in the house.
Right. Yeah, keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Slimming you down some more every week.
It's insane. I'm not even joking. It's crazy. It's I'm pretty close to being in the best shape I've been in since I started. And I'm not even lifting. I'm just jumping rope with heavy ropes and stuff. And yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of that, I hit the 50-pound mark yesterday.
Congratulations. That's awesome, man.
Only like 7 more pounds to go. And I'll be at
that's fantastic.
Fighting weight.
Fighting weight? You're cutting for a fight?
That's right.
Nice.
All right, so let's go ahead and get on with this week's show. This week is our top 10 sitcom episodes. Top 10 sitcom episodes.
Do we have anything? You have anything to show?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? Yes, we are going to do...
Oh, yes. Wow.
You show me yours and I'll show you mine. This week I've showed this on Twitter. This is my Donatello TMNT from the 1990s movie. My first TMNT figure I bought about a month ago. I love him. I'm thinking about trying to get the other ones to go with my covers of the IDW TMT books, the hardcovers. Even though I know they're different, it's a different story and all that, but they just look so good sitting next to them. Yeah.
That's a gorgeous figure. It makes me want to buy them, and that's the last thing I want to do is buy them.
Right.
That made no sense. It makes me want to, even though that's the last thing I want to do.
Right.
It's really nudging me in that direction. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that's all I got for tonight.
Okay, I have. I think I've talked to you, but we're both Star Wars fans. But what got me into Star Wars wasn't the movies; it was the role-playing games.
All right.
So I figured I'd bust out the Fantasy Flight games role-playing core rulebooks. These are some good books, man. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I can't find anything good. Anyway, there's 3 of them. Three campaigns that you can do: Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, And then for those that like the Force, you got the Force and Destiny.
Right.
They're just
Nice.
gorgeous books, great system to play in.
So did you play the games in your younger days?
Yes, I played until I got married.
Right.
My roommate before I got married was the person that introduced me to them, and
Sure.
we played, and yeah, I loved them. It's what got me into Star Wars. It
Right.
really is. And before that, it was just a movie that I had seen, and I enjoyed them. Don't get me wrong, but diving into the universe, I had so much fun and
Sure.
pretending to. And I always played a gambler, which I like, and so it was fun. I enjoy it. I highly recommend this system to people. It's very simple, fun, just fun.
Yeah.
And if you can sit around with a bunch of friends and BS for 3 hours and do
Yeah,
something.
I never got into role playing games too much. I played Magic the Gathering briefly when I was probably 19 or 20 years old. And then I tried D&D once, and it just wasn't my thing.
I've only played D&D once as well. And the older I get, the more I wouldn't mind playing. I just don't know anyone in the area that plays.
Right. No, my stepson, he's big into Warhammer 40K. He used to game a lot. Now he just collects the figures and paints the figures. Does a lot.
That's awesome. I wish I could paint. I wish I had the patience to do stuff like that. I don't.
He'll spend like 3 weeks on one figure.
Yeah, I would try to do it all in one night, and
right.
That's just.
I'm the same way. So
anyway, that's what I got.
Cool, good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into some of those books.
They're gorgeous books. Let me see if I can find something here. Just the art is just
sure
really nice. That's not even anyone you know. Well, you might know them. Anyway, I'm not going to flip through a book. Page 2.
I know we don't want to lose any more viewers.
Well, why not? What's stopping us?
Yeah. Luckily, that's not why we're doing this, right?
Yeah. Well, we're not doing it for the views or to lose views.
That's true. Yeah.
We're just doing it to.
That's right. Next week it's strippers, so that should get a few more people in here.
Oh, nice. The one with the strippers.
The one with the strippers. Speaking of which, that does take us to this week's topic. This week's topic is the top 10 sitcoms, our top 10 sitcoms, ranked in order from 10 to 1. Or sitcom episodes, I'm sorry, ranked in order from 10 to 1. I wanted to go 5 to 1 and then back to 10 and then 6, but we decided to go 10 to 1. So none of that fancy Star Wars episode order stuff for us.
Yes. No.
Yeah, none of that. So go ahead and go with your number 10 sitcom episode, Jim.
All right. My number 10 will be How I Met Your Mother, The Naked Man, Season 4, Episode 9. You have not watched this, have you?
I'm not up to that point. I'm through the first 4 episodes, and we're loving it.
Okay. This episode, I'm kind of curious how much you like it. It's something that I may have tried in the Army. When I was in the Army, I may have tried this and probably would have gotten in trouble. But anyway, it's a dating strategy for a date that's not going well. And I won't spoil it for anyone.
No, that's fine.
It's an episode I would recommend watching. Have you made it to the pineapple?
No.
Episode? No. What's that called? Anyway, I know Chris Evans likes that episode, and it's a great episode. I think if you're liking it now, you're going to love it later, because from halfway through the first season to 3/4 of the way through. It's
Yeah.
really good stuff.
Yeah.
So, who's your favorite?
That
character?
reminds me. Go ahead.
Well, oh yeah, who's your favorite character so far in it?
I like Barney a lot.
Barney's pretty great. Have they done the Halloween episode?
No, they just did the episode at the club.
Oh, the loud one?
Where the news reporter, what's her name?
Robin.
What's her name?
Robin,
yeah, sneaks him in and then, or doesn't sneak him in, she gets him in because she's a VIP and then she can't get into the VIP room.
Yeah, and it's real. Barney's dancing with his cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great episode.
Yeah,
but anyway,
funny.
yeah, the Naked Man, I won't spoil it too much. I'm looking forward to you getting to that one. They talk about fantasy football in that episode. It's quite comical.
Speaking of fantasy football, have you watched that show, The League? Have you seen that?
Have.
Yeah.
I have.
You like that one?
I like it to a certain extent. I like the first 2 seasons. I can't remember how many seasons it went, but then it just got same old humor.
Right.
But so one thing I would love to do with like our fantasy football league is to have a trophy like that. You know, something like something that it's like, oh, you get the what was that called? The sliver. I can't remember what it was called for the show, but yeah, I would love to have something that we pass to winners of the league year after year.
I'll never see that, will I?
You will. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's rough so far.
Sorry.
All my starters are hurt every week. I mean, my only player that's been scoring over 20 points is questionable this week with broken ribs. So what are you supposed to do? Herbert.
Yeah.
He'll still probably throw 5 touchdowns. But anyway, moving on from fantasy football.
Okay, you're number 10.
My number 10, Mad About You, The Conversation. That's season 6, episode 9. Now, I'm not a big fan of the show itself, but I remember when this episode aired and we watched it because what the episode is they have their baby and it's in its room crying. And they're just sitting outside the bedroom door, trying not to freak out, trying not to go in there, trying to let the baby just cry it out. But what makes it awesome is the whole show is filmed in one take. So when they aired it with no commercials. It's one camera, one take for 22 minutes. So all the dialogue, no cuts, nothing, straight through.
Oh, wow.
And to think that the two of them, Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, could do that with that many lines.
No, they didn't do it live, did they?
No, they didn't do it live, but it was uncut. It was all one go through. So,
see, I enjoyed that show.
Yeah,
I don't think I made it that far.
Right.
And I don't remember that. Like I said, my favorite character was Murray the dog.
Sure.
I remember the episode where they got locked in the bathroom together, and I just remember thinking, like, yes, I would be doing that with my wife in the bathroom until someone came and rescued me.
Right. So that is my number 10.
Okay. My number 9 is Community, Conspiracy Theories and Interior Design, Season 2, Episode 9. Have you made it there? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So there's quite a few things I love about this episode. Abed and Troy doing the blanket forts. That's where it started.
Oh, yeah.
And then also the whole conspiracy theory thing, it just cracked me up, even though it goes a little off the rails.
Sure.
It was just funny enough to where I was laughing throughout this whole episode. Like I said, that the show is very hit or miss for me. I mean, I have 2 episodes on this list from this show, and yet it's probably not a top 10 sitcom. Was it a top 10 sitcom for me? I can't remember. But
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. Just because there's so many misses for me. But it's, the episodes they get right, they really get right. And I think this was brilliant. I don't know. You have anything for it?
No, yeah. No, it was a great episode. And I feel the same way about Community overall. It's like, okay, it could go 6, 7 episodes where I'm like, what are they doing? what's going on here? And then they have an episode that just kills it and is some of the funniest TV I've seen.
Yes.
So if they could have maintained that each episode, this show would have been.
I think it's impossible.
I know. Although The Office nailed, The Office was pretty close.
Well, I don't know. I only have one episode. I mean, technically it's two, but I only have one on my list from The Office.
Right. Yeah.
Now, granted, I love the characters more than the story. I guess.
Sure.
Right. Anyway, okay.
So that was your number 9. My number 9, Last Man Standing, Trick or Treat. It's season 6, episode 5. Tim Allen's character, Mike, does not want to go to the Halloween party. He's tired of Halloween parties. And he talks everybody into dressing up as each other. So they all dress up as the other characters in the show. And then they all start acting out their mannerisms and kind of making fun of the person they're dressed like. And everybody ends up angry at each other and nobody else wants to go to the party. So he kind of manipulates his way into not having to go. And when they're making fun of each other, it's just hilarious. I love when people mimic each other. When they do it well, it just cracks me up.
I might have to make my way further into that series as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good series. Real funny. So that's my number 9.
All right. My number 8 is Cheers, Thanksgiving Orphans. Season 5, episode 9.
3 episode 9s in a row. Nice.
I have 5 episode 9s in a row. Couldn't believe it when I was making my list. I was like, holy cow.
I wonder if that's you, or I wonder if that's writers really focus on episode 9s. Maybe that's like a key.
Apparently I like it, but not enough to be in my top 5. Because it's my 5th one is it's 4 through 1 that aren't episode 9s, which is just baffling to me.
Right.
Anyway, it's one of my favorite Thanksgiving episodes of all time. Well, probably is my favorite Thanksgiving episode of all time. And the only one I can think that can even rival it is Some Friends.
Yeah.
But I don't have them on my list, so obviously I don't. From the food fight to seeing Vera,
Yeah.
It's great to the shifting of the TV when they're watching TV and Frasier just can't get it's a great episode.
It is a great episode, and I'm just remembering almost seeing Vera, and it reminds me of Big Bang Theory with Howard's mother.
Yeah, I'm sure that's where they got it.
Probably. Yeah, Vera is probably the greatest character who never appeared on screen.
Oh yeah.
I can't even remember. Did we ever even hear her voice?
Well, she says, "Get your things, Norm."
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm still surprised they even showed her that much.
Right.
But I mean, the thing I remember the most about that episode is Diane coming in and stop that right now and doing all that, and then all of a sudden you see the cranberries hit her in the face and Sam Malone, kiss you, but goodbye.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, just a great episode.
Yeah. Nice.
So, and then Frasier, Woody was saying, I didn't even get any potatoes. Oh, here, let me hand you some. Take them off the mantle, put them on his plate. Just quality stuff.
Good choice.
Okay.
All right, my number 8, 2.5 Men. Ergo, the Booty Call, season 3, episode 16. This is the one right after Alan starts dating Candy. And he starts talking about a booty call, and Jake asks him what a booty call is. And he's trying to explain how it's something that pirates did when they were hunting treasure. But that's not even the funniest part of the episode. The funniest part of the episode is Jake takes what he thinks are some vitamins, but they're Viagra. And the whole episode, he's kind of out of commission.
I know I've seen this episode. I just don't remember this at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I own season 3, so.
And what's her name? The housekeeper. I can't remember her name.
Berta.
Realizes what happened. Yeah. And figures it all out. But, so funny. So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just what you need as an adolescent boy on Viagra.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what you need.
But Alan's excitement at dating Candy, just through the whole thing. Of course, he's a 35, 40-year-old man, and she's like, what, 21?
That's season 3?
This episode is in season 3, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty early in the season, in the series. I don't even remember that. I like that show. I've told you this. Anytime Charlie Sheen played drunk,
right,
I get a kick out of that. I love it. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, almost with any character, not just Charlie Sheen.
Sure. Yeah. All right, number 7.
All right, my number 7 is Everybody Loves Raymond. She's the One. Season 7, episode 9. So Robert has a date. She brings him to Ray's house. They eat dinner, and while they're all cleaning the table, she smacks a fly, dies. They're all in the kitchen. Ray turns around to bring coffee, and she picks the fly up and eats it. And he's the only one that eats it.
I don't remember that.
And he stands there holding coffee for, it had to be a minute and a half of the scene. He don't say a word, and it just cracks me up. Huh. And then, so he tells them, and Robert don't believe him, and so they end up storming out. They go out, and he's making out with her later, and he's kissing her, and he's like, it's just like, it's just, and then Frank is making fun of her, like grabbing flies with her tongue, and it's just a great. It makes me laugh, and it's more particular that scene than it is the whole episode. But if I watch Everyone Loves Raymond, I watch that episode.
I briefly remember it now. I slightly remember. I don't remember a whole episode, but I remember some of the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. Yeah, I didn't have. I mean, that show cracks me up. But none of them I don't think are my favorite.
And I can understand that.
I was going to ask you, have you ever watched Bob Hart's Abishola? Did you guys watch that? Bob Hart's Abishola. It's a CBS show. Bob loves No? Oh, it's a sitcom. It's funny. He owns a sock place in, I don't even remember what town they're in, and she's from Africa, and she moved to the States, and they end up getting together, and it's basically her. The funny part is her whole family. But yeah, if you haven't seen that show, I would definitely check out, give it a few episodes once you're done with everything else. So,
okay,
that was bad timing for that question, but anyway, yeah. All right, my number 7, Community, season 3, episode 17, The Basic Lupine Urology. So this is the Law and Order episode, and I kind of talked about it briefly when we were talking about our favorite shows and stuff. Abed and good Lord, Troy. They're playing the main cops in the episode, and it's so good. They really make fun of. I mean, they're just mimicking the Law and Order style, the genre, so much with the way they act, and everybody in the episode plays on the show, and it makes it hilarious. They have their yam is in biology class, and everybody's growing yams, and theirs ends up smashed on the floor, and they have to figure out who did it.
Was it Starburn that did it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Okay. I do remember this episode now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I just laughing the whole way through.
That's good. You probably have to be more of a Law and Order fan as well to really enjoy it more. And I've never seen an episode of Law and Order. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. But that's all I got for that one. So number 6.
All right. Number 6, I have Friends, the one where Ross got high, which is a Thanksgiving episode.
Yes.
Higher than the Cheers one. So it's not, this is my favorite Thanksgiving episode.
Right.
Unless you count the one with Brad Pitt on Friends.
Oh, God. Oh, my
anyway,
God.
I'm just joking. That's this one. This one beats it. And my favorite part of this is, of course, Rachel making the English trifle and mixing it with the shepherd's pie. And my favorite part is when Ross is flipping the pages. He's like, oh, the pages are stuck together. And Joey immediately says, Chandler. It just floors me.
Oh,
And then
tastes like feet.
he's like, I like it.
I like it. What's not to like?
Yams, bananas, meat.
Good.
Good. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Phoebe,
Yeah,
I think Jacques Cousteau is dead.
what's that?
Ross's mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phoebe, I think Jacques Cousteau is dead because she's
Yeah.
all into Ross's dad that episode.
Phoebe had that dream. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's a great episode.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is. No, that's the Thanksgiving episodes are classics. I mean, all their Thanksgiving episodes. The
See, I don't like
football
all
one, the football one,
See, I don't
the
like
Brad
the
Pitt one.
episode.
You don't?
I'm not a big fan of that one. That's yeah. I like the Brad Pitt episode,
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
so funny.
The Thanksgiving pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, yeah, you're up.
Okay, my number 6 is The Office, season 2, episode 22, Casino Night.
Written by Steve Carell.
Ah, I didn't know that. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that episode?
Well, I love it. No, okay, so I'm trying to think a little beyond. I love it.
Yeah.
'Cause I do. Well, I enjoy Creed being a kleptomaniac. I like to steal things.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I'm about to drop a deuce, or what? And I really like the ending as it diverted my expectations at the time.
Right.
Yeah. Her not switching the gym really
Right.
made me like the show.
Sure.
And what I like even more is that they didn't play that out for the whole series, that just 2 seasons later they're together.
Right.
I really like that, probably more so than her rejecting him there. But I think Jim and Scranton
Yeah.
are some of my favorite episodes of The Office. When they're playing Call of Duty,
Oh yeah.
because that was me with my first wife's son.
Right.
You know, he's standing on my head, turning around, and I was like, I can't find anyone to shoot. You know, so
Yeah.
I anyway, I love it.
No, it is. It's a good episode. I don't have anything more to say. I love it from beginning to end. I think it's one of the more. I think that's one of the few episodes I actually like Jim in. I like his character in it just because well, maybe it's because he didn't get what he wanted. That's why I like it. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. You know, subconsciously, yeah. I don't know. But yes, and of course, Michael's Michael.
Yeah, Michael's Michael. That's great.
That is my number 6, and that's going to take us to.
Okay, so my number 5 is The Big Bang Theory, the parking spot escalation.
Uh-huh.
And season 6, episode 9, which Friends was season 6, episode 9. Everyone late loves Raymond, season 7, episode 9. Anyway, the parking lot escalation. Uh-oh.
I kicked my table and my camera fell here. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you.
Oh, glad you're wearing pants.
So am I.
Okay, so yeah, well now especially, huh? So Howard went to space, comes back, gets a parking spot at work. It used to be Sheldon's spot. They argue about it. I'm not using my nipples.
Right.
But anyway, it's kind of a weird thing to say without finishing it. But I'm going to leave it at that.
That's perfect.
So this episode, Bernadette makes this episode for me. She is so funny in this episode. She I think it's the first episode she does the whole mean voice that she does. You know,
it's kind of like his mom.
I'm gonna go home and let my husband have sex with me in the parking spot, which sounds dirty, but it's not. You know? It's just that line floors me, and then
the Iron Man helmet.
What's that?
The Iron Man helmet.
Yeah.
You weren't using it, so I took it.
Yeah. I keep going back to the nipples. And then Amy swinging her purse and hitting Penny and like, my God, what do you have in that thing? Oh, just a makeup, this hairbrush, and a can of coins. I've been meaning to take to the bank.
Is that the one? Just so I got it straight, is that the one where at the end Howard is sitting naked in Sheldon's spot with the laptop on his lap? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And then
he tries to sell
Sheldon
it.
gets in the car naked, and
that's right.
They spray paint the parking stone in front of her parking spot, whatever that's called. Yeah. What is that called? How come I can't think?
The slab,
the concrete block.
There you go.
He spray paints his name on it, and the campus security won't hesitate to scold you.
Right.
Buzz, it just cracks me up. It's just funny. Oh, Amy gets her first bikini wax, and
oh God,
she feels 5 pounds lighter. Really, only 5 pounds?
That's right. I remember her walking up the stairs. She can't hardly move. Oh yeah, and then she wants to show Sheldon. She shows Sheldon.
That's a lot of Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great episode.
Oh, that is a great episode. Nice.
Okay, that's all I got there for 5.
All right. My number 5 is What is Cliff Clavin? Season 8, episode 14. This is the one where Cliff tries out for Jeopardy and gets on the show. And it's got one of the greatest lines, I think, in any sitcom ever when he answers with, who are 3 people that have never been in my kitchen?
Which you put something in the chat of Lost in Comics one night, and I answered with that.
Yeah.
And I just knew that we were sitcom buddies, that we enjoyed the same shows, a lot of the same shows anyway.
Right. So what else is funny in this episode, I actually rewatched this one just to remember more about it. And I forgot this is also the same one where Sam's little black book goes missing. So him and Rebecca set a trap for the thief at a roller rink where the guy calls her and meets him there, and shenanigans ensue. So yeah, but the whole Jeopardy thing with Cliff, of course, that's his lifetime dream. And as long as you don't do anything stupid, you're going to win. And,
well, you don't need to answer.
Of course, he Clavins it. So, yeah.
And I think having Alex Trebek go into the bar later.
Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, acting like he came there to talk to Cliff when he. Yes.
That's a great episode.
It is.
I love it.
All right, number 4.
Number 4 for me is WKRP in Cincinnati. Turkeys Away. Season 1, episode 7.
Another Thanksgiving episode.
It's my favorite Thanksgiving episode. Yes, of all time.
Make sure.
Yes. Have you seen this episode?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of years. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember the episode itself.
So I don't remember a lot besides the point where Les is at the grocery store to the end. And now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it just to see the beginning of it. But I just love the thought of radio promotion throwing live turkeys from a helicopter.
Yes. Yeah.
They're falling like concrete.
Yeah. Sorry, they were frozen, huh? Were they frozen still?
No, they're live.
Oh, they were live.
Turkeys can't fly.
Live. Right.
Yeah,
that's
turkeys
right.
can't fly.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
So, and that was at the end. Mr. Carlson comes out of his office, and they're all covered in feathers and stuff, and he's like, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." So it's.
Is that series streaming?
I think it's on Tubi TV or something like that, or Freevee.
I want to rewatch it.
Yeah, like I said, I can't even speak for the first half of that episode because I don't remember it.
Right.
I know I've watched the ending on YouTube 1,000 times.
Sure.
It cracks me up. It's just brilliant writing. And you can find podcasts that talk about that episode, and it's just great.
Right.
I highly recommend people going and checking that out. I have a shirt for it, but it's my Thanksgiving shirt. I haven't wore it yet. Not once. I'm waiting for Thanksgiving, and I will wear that shirt. So, I mean, we're not going to record, so you will never see it.
Right, perfect.
But I'll take a picture on Thanksgiving. Put it on Twitter.
There you go.
So, okay.
Right, my number 4. The Big Bang Theory, Season 7, Episode 3, The Scavenger Vortex. So Raj plans a scavenger hunt for the team. And there's just so much about this from Raj's theatrics to Sheldon, nobody wanting to get teamed up with Penny, to Sheldon taking his bowling ball and them ended up at a bowling alley.
Yes. My favorite is Amy and Howard.
Amy and Howard in the car singing Neil Diamond. Let's go. With it's a concert when everybody else is saying they were off to the. I think at the time they were off to the. I can't remember where they were headed that time, but
I don't either. That's really all I remember from that episode. I love that.
Oh yeah, and then even better is Stewart not being involved. Like they come into his comic shop for something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks for not asking me to play." And he's his usual droopy self.
Wasn't the prize in Sheldon's laundry or?
No, Sheldon's spot.
Oh.
So he had the spots in all of Sheldon's shirts down in the laundry room when they were down there, and Penny figured that one out. And then they raced up the stairs, and it turned out that they already had the coins in their pockets, and that way nobody lost. And everybody was pissed at him, except for Sheldon, who was happy that he had the coin in his pocket.
Good episode.
But just the Neil Diamond. I mean, that cracks my wife up so much. Just the way, because they never really, those two never really interact.
Yeah, I just
Howard and Amy.
I love their singing in the car.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're doing. It just cracks me up.
She's got a Ross head bounce thing going, and like Ross does.
Yeah. I don't know why I'll bring this up. It's a different episode. But when Howard sings to Bernadette when she gets bit by the poisonous raccoon, or when I don't know, I love that scene. I probably
when they're all singing.
Yeah. My life
because of you, Bernadette.
Yeah. If I didn't have you, Anyway, it's just Howard is so good. He's probably underrated on that show, in my opinion. He's fantastic.
The voices he does when he's doing the Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, he's good.
He's Christopher Walken and Al Pacino and
Nick Cage.
He's really talented.
His Nick Cage is spot on.
It is good.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my number 4. On to your number 3.
My number 3 is Community, Pillows and Blankets.
So another pillow one.
Yes, both.
Or another blanket one.
Both the Pillow and Blanket Fort episodes are 2 of my all-time favorite show episodes of TV ever.
Well, that's why they're on your list,
That makes sense. It all adds up. Season 3, episode 14. There's so much in this episode that makes me laugh. And I'm trying to think of one of them right now.
So just so I have it straight, this is the one where they go to war, right?
Yes, it's done in a Ken Burns documentary style, which, if they would have did nothing else, makes me laugh.
Yeah,
it's. If you haven't watched it, just watch it. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's funny.
I know you
have,
but it's brilliant TV.
And that's right when they. Troy and Abed they stop doing their handshake thing for briefly because they're at war, right? And then at the end they get back to it, like their little chest tap thing they do with the.
I mean, one of my favorite things about that show is their friendship hats that they have to go back and get.
Yeah.
I don't know. I highly recommend watching it. I can't even remember specifics about the episode at the moment.
I just remember the maps they were showing with the routes everybody was taking.
And coming down from the east.
Right. It's a good one.
the Spanish teacher. He's not the Spanish teacher.
Young,
his little kids that he hired.
Yes.
It's just great.
It is.
It's Britta being an amateur photographer, just a bad photographer.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, no, good episode.
Okay, you're up.
My number 3 is The Cosby Show, the pilot.
That's a great episode of TV.
So, and you had to remind me this was the pilot because we were talking about our favorite shows probably 6 months ago, and I mentioned this one. You said, "Oh, that's the pilot," and I didn't even remember that it was the pilot. But so, for anybody who hasn't seen it, this is the one where Theo thinks he's ready to be on his own.
No, he wants to be a regular guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And so Cliff is, and so Cliff is giving him a little economics lesson, I guess you could say. And just the way he does it when he's handing him the money, paying the bills. And at the end, he's like, "You can have a girlfriend?" And Theo's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to have it." And he takes the rest of his money from him. And
I think what I love the best about that whole scene is Theo taking money back. I'll live on bologna and cheese or whatever. I enjoyed that. Being a young kid at that time, thinking, I'd live off bologna and cheese too.
Yeah, great episode.
Great episode of TV.
Yeah. Number 2.
All right, number 2 for me is Friends, the one with the stripper. Season 8, episode 8. This is obviously, it's my favorite episode of Friends because every storyline ties together so well. Rachel's dad, Mr. Green. What was her name again? His girlfriend. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank of saying anything right now. So jump in, please. Talk about it.
Yeah, you're good. So this is the one where Monica hires what she thinks is a stripper, correct?
Yes.
And it turns out to be a hooker. And this is for the bachelor party that Chandler never had.
Yeah.
And Joey's his best man, and it's just the two of them in the apartment, and the stripper shows up, or the hooker shows up, and goes in the bedroom, and it's like, "You guys coming in here?" And they both walk back there. Yeah, and she's naked on the bed. Yeah.
Well, and then it correlates with Rachel trying to tell her dad that she's pregnant, and Ross they're not getting married, and so.
Daddy, he said I'm
I'm used
damaged goods.
Yeah.
I'm damaged goods.
And then Joey calling Ross's apartment and the answering machine getting it when Rachel's dad's there and his date is there. He's like, hey, we're just wondering, do you have anything to do with this stripper being here? And it's just fantastic overlapping of stories. And
then the Joey and Chandler are in the living room, and because this is after they haven't been living together, Joey's like, "I miss this." Chandler's like, "We've never done this before." And she's like, "Can I smoke?" You're like, "No, whatever. We're gonna have to burn
that room down anyway."
That's right.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Who has the core to lead?
That's right. And of course, Monica's like, "You've been a stripper, right?" Well, she's a hooker.
Oh,
when the guy's telling her that she's a hooker. Yeah. Oh, so funny.
Yes, it's
so
fantastic.
funny. Nice.
Okay, that's my number 2.
My number 2, Friends.
Thank you for jumping in there because I was wrong.
No problem. That's kind of what I did on the casino night one earlier. That's why I was like, "Jim, tell me your thoughts on it." The one with the embryo, season 4, episode 12. So this is the quiz episode for the apartments. Monica and Rachel. Well, Rachel doesn't want to gamble the apartment away. It starts off with a small bet, and it turns into trading the apartment for the guys getting rid of the chicken, the duck, or the rooster is crowing, and they want it gone.
Second opinion.
Right, because they thought it was a female. Yeah. So they have Ross sets up the questions for the quiz that Rachel doesn't want to be a part of. As the boys against the girls for the apartment or getting rid of the bird. And the quiz, Ross, the way he runs the quiz is perfect. The way it starts off with the guys saying they know the girls better, right? So they come back and they have their shopping stuff, and Joey says that I bet we can guess all 5 items you have in the bag. And they get the first 4, and then they whisper the 5th in the ear, and Joey's like, no, not for another 2 weeks. And then they figure out what the 5th item was. But the quiz questions.
Which was tape, because they used all theirs making scary faces.
Yeah, right.
It makes me laugh.
Yeah, it does. My favorite line from that whole episode is, what is Chandler Bing's job? He's a transponder. That's not even a word. That's probably my favorite line from the entire series is that one part right there. So good.
What season is that? 3?
This is season 4.
Season 4.
Episode 12.
I didn't realize it was that far into the show.
Yeah, this is the season right before they go to London the next season.
Yeah, I mean that's a great episode.
It is. And then this is the one where it's called the one with the embryos because Phoebe finds out she's pregnant. Because everybody's arguing when Chandler's coming in. You're ruining moving day when they come in with the dog, with Joey's dog. Mm-hmm. And then Phoebe tells him she's pregnant.
Because her body's always been ahead of Western medicine.
Right, yeah. My body's ahead of Western medicine. Yeah, so she tests like 2 hours after having them implanted. And she's laying in the chair with her legs up in the air. Yeah. So many good things in that episode.
Yep. Great episode.
So that takes us to your number 1.
My number 1, which I cheated and I told you, it's actually 2 episodes, but it's the finale for The Office. Right. It's my favorite finale of all time, probably my favorite episode of TV. Obviously, it's my favorite episode of TV. I can watch the finale almost on repeat. I enjoy where all the characters go. I enjoy Michael Scott coming back and giving the best "that's what she said" line of the entire series for me. I mean,
the year after, all that kind of stuff.
What's that?
A year later, all the
there's
them watching themselves.
Nothing in this episode that I don't like. I wasn't disappointed with anybody's arc at the end. It just made me happy, and not a whole lot of finales do that.
Right.
And so, I mean, even Andy's ending in the series, which is positive for him, but it's based on pretty traumatic things.
Sure.
It's still made me really happy to see. And then Pam selling the house without asking her husband, that she bought the house without asking her,
Right.
It all felt very.
You know what I loved about it? They brought Michael back, which is great, but he had obviously grown up. Like he was still playful, but he was so much more mature and obviously onto his life and just much,
There was really, character growth without having to see it.
There was, yeah.
And really... what they say, he had to buy 3 cell phones for the pictures. It's just stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's still Michael,
Right.
So,
I mean, even Dwight's arc ended with him being like. I mean, I like Dwight anyway, but
his and Pam's relationship may be my favorite in the entire series.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just great.
It is.
Yeah, it hits me in the heart every time.
Now, my favorite scene's not in that episode. My favorite scene of The Office, off subject a little bit, I think, is at the wedding. I think it's the dance down the
aisle.
The aisle. I love that part. I really like that. But yeah, this episode, the finale, it's great. I've only seen it once. We're kind of watching through again here and there, so we'll get to it a second time, and it'll probably have more meaning the second time, I would imagine. But yeah, fantastic episode.
My favorite character of all time gets arrested in that episode, and I still
yeah. So much good stuff. My number 1, and I'm going to start this off by saying my top 10 probably could have been 8 or 9 Friends episodes, and I narrowed it down to 2 just so I could have other stuff because it's too hard to choose. But my favorite episode sitcom episode of all time is Friends, season 6, episode 15, The One That Could Have Been. So this is a flashback episode. And anytime we get Fat Monica, I'm a fan.
See, that's weird because I'm not.
No? I mean, her dance cracks me up. It's the only time I think I find Monica likable in the series. Like, her character to me is just not a likable character. She's always so brash.
Now,
and
I also agree with you there. She's my least favorite character by far.
Right.
But I don't, just because she's fat, don't make me like her.
No, her personality is so much different.
I guess you're right. It is a little different. I'm trying to remember. I know we talked about the episode a little bit before we started, but
so Phoebe's working for she works for Wall Street or whatever her job is called. Chandler ends up being Joey's assistant
with Pulp.
With Pulp, yes. Rachel ends up trying to cheat on Barry with Joey. Ends up throwing up in his apartment. Phoebe ends up with a heart attack and then getting fired, having a heart attack, losing $13 million for her company.
I think this might be my favorite Ross story. When he's trying to bring to his first marriage the things they can do to spice it up.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk through it. No, okay.
Eat stuff off of each other.
We
How
could
about
have
a threesome?
Okay.
I love that idea. Yeah. I love that idea. Yeah. And then they're sitting there, and him and Joey are talking about it, and like, my part was over fairly quickly, and I kind of got bored. Or Joey's like, you get a little bored. Yeah. So what did you do? Oh, I made a sandwich. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Love a sandwich.
Yeah. Oh man. So much good stuff in that episode.
So great.
Of course, Monica with the doctor. A Brazil nut's not actually a nut. So much good stuff, and then Chandler and Monica end up hooking up anyway.
Yeah, that's a pretty good part of that episode is that they still end together,
right?
End up together.
Yeah. So
it's
so good. Really love that episode. So that is my number one sitcom episode. And honestly, I probably could have switched 1 and 2. They're probably equal. I mean, it's so hard ranking this stuff. Like we always do ranks. And I think they could all be like they're equal. Most of them are just as funny. But Friends, of course, I'm more invested in. I've seen the shows more times, so that's probably why those jump to the top.
Great.
That is our top 10 list. Anything to add, Jim?
I have nothing. Any honorable mentions from you? I think I mentioned it to you. Just Shoot Me. The episode where she does a murder mystery night in her apartment.
Right.
I really enjoy that episode.
For me, Big Bang Theory, where I don't remember the title of it, but where Howard, the guy, steals their WoW accounts, their World of Warcraft accounts, and they go to get their stuff back. And Sheldon takes I think it's a Klingon sword with him because they're going to confront this guy. Oh. And the guy ends up stealing the Klingon sword from him too. He's this big old guy. And then Penny takes him back down there and says, for the first time in your life, somebody's going to touch you in your special spot. She kicks him in the junk and takes his stuff back. Yeah. There are a lot of Big Bang Theory episodes that crack me up too. There's a lot of shows I didn't even mention that.
The rubber duck deficiency from the Big Bang area where Penny hurts her shoulder in the shower.
God. Yeah.
Her and Sheldon at the hospital when he's filling out the paperwork and he asks her the last menstrual thing and she says, and he's like, in progress.
In progress, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, they probably have some of the best hospital scenes. Yeah. Some really good ones.
The only other one I can think of is the robot hand.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That is a good one. The murder mystery one's good. Most of the ones with Bob Newhart, Professor Proton.
Yeah, the first one with Bob Newhart almost made my list.
Yeah.
It's just Penny makes that episode.
Yes, him and
a potato clock, a potato round clock. Wouldn't that change. Isn't that solve the world thing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So is it? Is it a fake potato or a fake clock?
How did you get her? Doesn't he ask?
What do you talk about?
Or what do you talk about? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, we talked about the moon episode of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
With Zach. That's a good one. Friends, the Danny DeVito being a stripper episode.
Not my favorite episode, but
no?
yeah.
I love that. Just the scenes with him, not the rest of the episode. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a huge fan of Danny DeVito.
No. I just think that I'm not a huge fan, but I think that scene is one of his best that he's done. But anyway, I could go on with the honorable mentions forever.
We might
I could name you probably 100 other Friends episodes. Any Cosby episode with Bud. Yeah, a lot of those. So anything else to say before we leave? Next week, I'm hoping to have a special guest. We're not positive yet where we're going to go with it, but we may have somebody here with us.
Just want to send thanks out to the 5 people that are watching. DC Patrol.
The one person.
Thank you, DC Patrol, for watching 5 times. No, man, there's others. I'm just drawing. Oh, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, sure.
I'm just drawing a blank. Forgive me.
My wife watched the first half of our first episode this morning.
My wife has watched nothing.
No.
So, which tells you I lied about the list on the second episode.
You know what's funny? She said, my wife said, "Yeah, you guys are doing good. I could once you get less nervous, it'll be better." And Jim was right. He does bounce around a lot, doesn't he? That was the first episode of that first, the first half of that first episode.
Yeah, and I probably still do. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm moving a little more, but I'm in a rocking chair. This was a mistake because it's too easy to.
Well, remember when I tried to get the rocking chair? Thank God that episode didn't go through. It just squeaked the whole time. It's like, okay,
right.
I have to stop.
So, but yeah, thank you. And I think that Chris Evans has watched. I don't know if Lost in Comics Chris has watched. I would hope so. I think he's watched at least one of our episodes, maybe part of it.
And I know
Adam Janis has watched a little bit, at least skipped through to find out the stuff we were talking about so that he could talk about it.
Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. And
we're going to have a giveaway sometime in the next 30 years.
Once we hit 1,500 subs, big old giveaway. 1,500 subs, you guys get the Wolverine poster.
Oh. Writing checks your butt can't cash.
I'm fairly certain that
we're never getting there. We're quit before 1450. We're out of here.
We're exponentially going down. But that's all we have for this week. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you will be with us on this episode and more episodes going forward. And we will see you guys next week. Take care.
Have a good one.